So for Lombardi herself, there's the biggest day of the year as it relates to football season, and it was yesterday. Schedule release. You were
Finally.
nervous heading up the schedule. You always are.
Well, I mean, I'm a wife. I'm selfish. I want you home for Thanksgiving and Christmas, which is just horrible of me.
Was that the biggest win?
Yeah, I think that was a big win. Was it last year? There were a couple years ago where you guys played either the day before. I mean, you played on Christmas Day 2 years ago. And then I think you played not on Thanksgiving, but either right like the day before.
No, there was a Thanksgiving game.
There was?
Where the 49ers ate turkey on Seattle's field.
Yes. Okay. I feel like that was the same year. I feel like it was, was it 2022 where y'all were Thanksgiving and Christmas?
They played on Thanksgiving and they played on Christmas in the same year. And
yes.
Actually, it might have been 2023 was the Christmas one because you went to the Christmas game.
Yes, it was 23.
You went to the Christmas game that year. But they're all, no, I think in 22, there was a Christmas Eve game against Washington. And I took the red eye to do Christmas with your family.
Yes, because I picked you up at the airport on Christmas morning.
Yeah, and they decided to just cancel the San Francisco to Nashville red eye. So I had to go through Atlanta on Christmas night.
That was the day that you were like walking over bodies because so many people had been delayed. Not like dead bodies, just like people like sleeping in the airport.
Somebody's saying, hey, this is good. Why the members only video? I dropped the members only video because I drove all the way to Kentucky to give you guys 49ers content that you'll be able to see at some point, even if you aren't a member. But if you want to stop being cheap, you want to watch the 49ers content,
just call them
sooner rather than later. It costs like $2. You could go ahead and become a member of the channel. There ain't no such thing as a free lunch.
He learned the word ain't on his visit to Kentucky.
So, yes, I was in Kentucky. So this town in Kentucky, Upton Stout is the name of the 49ers player.
And the town is called?
The town is called Bowling Green.
BG.
Bowling Green, Kentucky. It's an hour and 20 minutes north of Nashville. Coolest little downtown that I've seen in this area. Like, I really like the downtown. The coffee shop was awesome.
It's not quite halfway between Nashville and Louisville.
So they're the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers, and their mascot is a big red blob.
I just think of the big purple blob from McDonald's. I don't know what that guy's name is, but that's what I see every time.
Like a Hamburglar or something, or they have different characters, right?
I don't know if it's the Hamburglar or not, but he's like a purple blob. And he must be siblings with the
Hilltopper.
The Hilltopper.
So Upton Stout, 49ers 3rd round draft pick, who's their best personality they've ever drafted, at least on the surface. Well, you saw the call. He was like, let's do it, just over and over again. John Lynch, and he called everybody coach. John Lynch was coach. Kyle Shanahan was coach. That's correct. Jed York was coach too. Everybody's, let's do it, coach. And so this guy's so energetic. I'm like, I got to go to this guy's school. So I called him up, and their head coach, his name is Tyson Helton, sat down with me for over half an hour, and we're just sitting there talking football, talking about Upton Stout. It's content you're not going to get anywhere else. I'll look straight at the camera when I say that. It's content you won't find. You listened to it today, part of it.
Yeah, it was really well done.
Yeah. So yeah, somebody's like, why the members only video? Because members mean more to me. Okay. You could become a member too. Nothing is preventing you. So anyway, are you a member yet? You don't have to be.
I think I'm a member.
Okay. I don't think she is, guys, but let's keep it. I'm going to sign her up here in a little bit. You're a subscriber to the San Francisco Standard.
I am a subscriber. Good. I get the email every day, a little daily update.
So the schedule is here. We're going to talk about what we like, what we don't like about the schedule. But the way I titled this video is the Lombardis destroy terrible takes, because anytime the 49ers are in the news, the national media will come out. People who don't know that much about the team will come out, and they'll just start throwing stuff up against the wall
to see what sticks.
That it sticks. And they know that 49ers fans are easily riled up, so they'll usually put something a little negative out there. Negative content sells better.
Aren't all NFL fans easily riled up, though?
Yes.
If you're going to talk about their team.
I think that 49ers fans are a little more on edge than the typical fan base.
Because they want that 6th Lombardi.
Imagine if Alabama hadn't won a national title in over 30 years. They'd be pretty on edge.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Right.
When you translate it like that.
But not only had not won, but like lost in the semifinals and in the championship game several times
to like Mizzou or someone.
Anybody like who once you get to the Super Bowl, it doesn't matter who you lose to. You lost the Super Bowl. That builds up some angst.
So you were saying.
So I think that the 49ers fans are a little touchy. I think that they're sensitive. A little jumpy. Yeah, a little sensitive.
PTSD.
Yeah. So we have a couple like just outrageously bad takes. The 49ers have an easier schedule this year. They should, theoretically, because they finished in last place last year. So the NFL sets it up. So they play.
Well, they didn't finish like in last. Are you talking about last place in the NFC, right?
In the NFC West in their division.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Sorry, not in the
NFC. They play other last place teams.
Correct.
In the NFC. So,
including like the AFC. So is the AFC South like the rotation?
That's a rotation. That's not because they were bad.
Because last year's rotation was the NFC North.
Correct.
And they were all scary, except for the Bears.
Who they beat. So the one bad team they beat. They get the Bears again because they get the last place teams. Bears finished last. So
I see.
The Bears are coming in for a late season primetime game. Now, I know how important sleep is to you, and we're going to get into all that. But first, there's some fascinating stuff with the schedule. I don't think I've told you some of this stuff yet. Don't yawn.
I'm not yawning.
I said sleep, and it's just like reflexive. No.
So I've been on my feet for like 4 hours accidentally. I was just cooking all of the things.
What did you make today? Like those sandwich? I even like tomatoes, and I liked whatever you cooked for dinner.
So it's almost real tomato season in Tennessee here, and a lot of the tomatoes you can get at farmers markets are grown in the greenhouse. And so went later this afternoon, got tomatoes, and so I got some good farmers market bread. Sliced the bread, toasted the bread, sliced the tomatoes pretty thick, seasoned them with salt, let them sit, and then I did a homemade garlic aioli, roasted garlic aioli.
So that's what's that new gadget that you have that kind of like...
It's an immersion blender.
So she makes these sweet potato fries with this immersion blender making the aioli, and it was so good the other day.
Regular people call it mayonnaise, but fancy people call it aioli. Yeah,
so you've been good. We're going to talk about the circadian rhythm of the 49ers schedule in a little bit, but a couple of terrible takes that came out that have been preying on the fans who are on edge. I think it's Adam Schefter came out and was saying, I think the 49ers they've lost so much talent this year, and it's going to be hard for them, even against this easy schedule. And this is the first time that I've ever seen a team play really poorly like the 49ers did last year and have people argue that they should have just kept everything in place. Like, I've never seen a team play poorly and people say, oh, yeah, let's go run that back. Like, that worked so well. Why don't we do it again?
Let's keep everyone on the roster.
Yeah, the fact that they change things is natural because they sucked last year.
Well, yeah, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again with a different result.
Different results.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like this whole, oh my God, they lost a lot of players. Yeah, from a team that went 6-11, that was too old, too slow, not hungry enough.
Didn't. So it's been a minute. I mean, free agency was what? 2 months ago, almost
mid-March. What is it now? Mid-May. Yeah, exactly.
It's mid-May. So it's about 2 months ago. And a lot of players got traded or released. Weren't most of the 49ers players that are no longer on the team older?
Yeah.
Okay.
Essentially everybody,
I pay attention.
Everybody that let go is on the wrong side of 30 out of the veterans.
The wrong side of 30. Yeah, ouch.
The wrong side of 30. I'm on the wrong side of 30. I think you're on the right side of 30.
I'm always on the right side of 30.
Yeah. So they let people on the wrong side of 30 go that weren't producing. Like, they could have been okay players like Leonard Floyd and Malik Collins, but were they worth 10 million plus? Not to a 49ers team that was too injured, bad against the run, and wasn't hungry enough. They needed to fly around and be hungry again. They needed to find that youthful vigor. They finished as one of the worst defenses in football. So they took those guys and they said, go sign somewhere else. Another team may have better use for you, but we need to get younger because this didn't work.
And didn't they have to make room in the salary cap as well? Because Kittle got a new contract. Brock Purdy's got to get paid.
Yes. And this is a long-term sustainability thing. So you need to set yourself up for future success. So yeah, you kind of, a natural forest fire, without getting into fires that are unnatural, but the natural forest fires happen for thousands of years, millions of years, however long Earth has been around. And what happens is like a lot of the brush is burned out, but then the strong trees are able to grow even stronger.
Right.
So it's like healthy for the forest, right? So the 49ers, they've kept their foundational pillars, but the brush is out now.
It's like grapevines.
Well, how do grapevines work?
So you want the vines to struggle because the fruit is that much better. The yield is great when you go to pick the grapes.
There was a lot of struggle last year. The 49ers, so we'll see how next season goes. So anyway, that was one bad take. And I'm like, why would they want to run the same roster back? It was this recycled version of what people were saying in March.
Let me ask you this question, David. Was there any other NFL team that got rid of as many players as the Niners prior to free agency?
This year, maybe not, but you know who did it 2 years ago? The Rams. Guess where they were the postseason. You know who did it last year?
Was it the Eagles?
The Bills. Guess where? The NFC Championship game.
Buffalo.
So the 49ers have let's go Buffalo.
It's catchy, okay?
It is.
They're the AFC.
They are New York's only team.
Yes, you always love that joke.
Now, let's talk about the schedule.
You go to November.
Mike said my audio's echoey again. I got to talk closer to the mic. We always have this problem. You always have perfect audio, and I don't. So that's why I'm checking my phone, because I'm trying to. We got a new member though, so it's good. Mike, how's this? Is it better? I'm talking straight into the mic. Mic. You should talk now because your audio is better, and we're going to New York to see a game in New Jersey this year.
Yes, I always joke with David. Any excuse to go to New York City is a great excuse. So.
No, my mic is on, guys. People are saying David's mic is not on. It's not on. This is a vexing problem that we've had, and it's only when Marco's my co-host. We had somebody else in this chair.
I'm not rigging it or anything. I promise. I'm not tampering with the equipment.
Maybe it's because I'm too close to your mic, so I'm kind of like scooting away. I don't know. My mic is going to keep me apprised.
Keep you looped in.
Yeah, it's all right. All right. So anyway, New York, November. What is it? The 2nd?
Yeah. That's
Isn't
my
that your mom's birthday?
Good job. No. Good job. He's going after a favorite son-in-law.
So, and my competition is only one. There's only one competitor.
Yeah, but you still have competition.
Yeah, I guess. So we're going to do a meetup in New York City. Joel Thompson is asking. Connecticut resident is asking Joel Thompson. We're going to put this up. We've done meetups where so far? Tampa, San Francisco.
We did one in Nashville for the preseason last year.
Are those the only 3 so far?
I think so.
Yeah. So there's going to be a Lombardi.
And the one we did at Tampa was part of a larger Niners chapter. Like the Niner chapter based in Tampa had this really big event, and so we were able to show up and engage with a lot of people. It was really fun. Yeah,
and I think New York is going to be a winner because there'll be so many 49ers people,
and it won't be super cold.
We might have to do it at Finnerty's too. I think that'd be a perfect spot to do it.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. That's the New York bar, or it's the San Francisco bar in New York. And they were closed for almost 5 years. They closed. Well, it's 2025. They closed in 2020. Mm-hmm. So they're back open now in the shadow of the Empire State Building, right across the street.
So Midtown.
Yeah. Midtown. Okay. Yeah. I think on 33rd Street.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I was at a gathering party with a bunch of people yesterday and ran into an old friend and asked her, well, where are you living? And she said, New York City. And I said, okay, where? And she said, Manhattan. And I'm like, where in Manhattan? Like, it's kind of this constant, like, tell me what corner street you're on in Manhattan. I want to know. Yeah. Like, I want to know what neighborhood, all that.
So we'll be in Midtown at some point before that. I think that the 49ers might train or practice in Florida that week. I hope they do, somewhere on the East Coast, because Houston is the week before that. Yeah. And so my goal would be to cover the game in Houston. I've already booked not all my flights, but most of my flights. I have probably 47 flights booked.
He was getting inklings of like, maybe this game is happening on this date. here and there. And like,
they leaked it to me.
I'm going to book a flight. And he's like, do you want me to book you a flight? And I just look at him and say, can we just wait for the whole schedule to come out?
So Margot
and then figure out what flights need to be booked.
You have a likely first class seat with the upgrade to.
You get booking happy. I feel like it's a dopamine rush.
It is.
Like most women want Starbucks with a ton of sugar in it in the morning. You just want to book flights. Like it's the same kind of like hit.
Yesterday was a dopamine high for me. I'll probably be laying there tonight booking more flights, probably tomorrow after you leave town. But unbeknownst to her, she's got a ticket to New Orleans and a ticket to Seattle in weeks 1 and 2. I don't know if you're going to either of those two, because you probably aren't, because there's probably something cool that you could do as far as your competitions here. But you can go if you want. But I know you're going to be in New York because you like New York a lot better than Seattle.
Well, I also have friends in New York. We have friends in New York. Yes.
So New York is going to be in November. I would not recommend Houston to anybody. Sorry if anybody's watching from Houston here, but
Texas isn't that bad.
We have Texas viewers, so I'll ease off on it. But
ease off.
We also know that the Dallas Cowboys play in Texas, and 49ers fans don't like them. So,
would you rather go to Dallas or Houston?
Dallas.
Why?
Dallas.
Just as a city?
I think Dallas. I mean, it's the lesser of two evils for me.
Dallas just feels kind of like the posh metropolitan area of Texas.
Yeah.
Like Austin is all, keep Austin weird. We're funky.
Austin's smaller than both of those cities.
Yeah. And Houston just has no zoning laws. And so it's just chaos.
Yeah. I'm getting into and out of Houston, just like I'm getting into and out of Indianapolis this year. But we're not getting into and out of New York City. New York City is going to be
City's great.
A longer few days. That should be fun. Mm-hmm. Mike loves Austin. He says he loves Austin over there in the comments.
People compare Austin to Nashville a lot. Like music scene, artsy.
Nashville's better.
Well, yeah.
I don't like.
I've never been to Austin.
They both blew up at the same time or similar times, so I get the comparisons, but I do think that I think the comparisons are overblown because of timing. I really do.
Right. Well, and Austin's had a lot of tech growth over the past
several years. Austin is actually more connected to the Bay Area than Nashville would be because of the
based
tech
on
growth.
That industry.
Yeah, and it's so hot in Texas. It's a new level of heat. Like you think that
they don't have humidity in Texas.
Oh, they do.
Oh, they do.
Oh, they do. Yeah. It's Houston. Like we went to, did you see the 49ers made a 49ers Arabic account the other day? Like it's all in Arabic.
You were telling me about that.
And it's because the United Arab Emirates are the 49ers
UAE.
Marketing region. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We were in Dubai 2 years ago and we learned a new definition of heat.
I thought it was great because it was so, I mean, it was 97 degrees and humid.
It was 114 and humid.
114.
You were sitting in an
really
infinity pool the whole time.
It wasn't 114 degrees. Maybe it was 100 degrees.
It was well over 100.
Okay. Well,
I think it was 112.
There were fans. It was fine. It was.
When we went to the desert, it was a little bit better. But even then, you were like, okay, wait, this has gone a little step too far.
Okay. I am a lizard, first of all.
Yeah.
The heat does not bother me. The mugginess can get old. I don't like exercising or being like I don't want to be outside sweating in it necessarily, doing something super active. But going to Dubai when it is super, super hot and miserable like that, I think it's great because then you come home and Texas and Tennessee don't seem that bad.
Okay. Well, so you've changed your tune a little bit. You're saying that
Dubai was bad. Yes.
Okay.
Dubai was bad. But what I'm saying is Dubai helps you extend your range of what heat and misery could be, which then makes other hot places feel a little bit more tolerable.
Okay. I could get behind that.
Like if you spent a week in Dubai and then came back to a Nashville July, you would think that it
that's what I did.
Wonderful.
Yeah, that's what I did. And it wasn't like nearly as hot here. Okay, so anyway, that's the 49ers focus area. I wouldn't be shocked if
UAE.
Yeah, if they got a international game there, or if some other team did in the next couple of years. 2026 could be a Dubai or Abu Dhabi international game.
I feel like Kyle Shanahan would light a couch on fire.
Yeah, but the 49ers owe the NFL one at a certain point because
they haven't done an international game since the Mexico City
They've done
game.
Mexico, but that's not Europe. You know, time zone wise, it's a lot easier than Europe. So Mexico's Central Time.
Yes.
So Mexico City. Mexico's a big country, but Mexico City.
We have really good friends that have explored a lot of South America, and that's something that we always forget about, is that the time zones are a lot easier because you're just going south.
Yeah. So you can fly in the same day. Like you could either take
if
the
you're
day
in
or take the night
Argentina
to
or
fly.
Chile, you're probably in Mountain or Pacific time.
And Brazil is probably Eastern
more
or
central.
A little bit. Well, it's further east than the East Coast because, you know.
Okay, so then maybe Chile and Argentina are Mountain time.
South America kind of juts out to the east.
Yes, it kind of bulges into the Atlantic.
Yeah. Well, it used to be when you see Africa jut in, and you could see where the two fit together like puzzle pieces.
On this evening's lesson, Tectonic Plates with David Lombardi.
Tectonic plates. That's good vocabulary.
That's what the Ring of Fire is in the Pacific Ocean. That's why there are all the volcanoes.
Yeah. Well, have you heard of the Mariana Trench?
I think it's the Mariana Trench.
Is it the Mariana Trench?
Maybe I'm just Southern. Mariana
Trench. Have you heard of it though?
Yes.
It's the deepest part of the Pacific Ocean.
It's this terrifying crevasse.
Crevice, right?
I'm just pulling your leg. It's this really terrifyingly deep crack in the bottom of the ocean. Have you ever seen Finding Nemo?
It's 36,000 feet deep. It's deeper than Mount Everest is tall.
My brain can't do that kind of conversion.
Are you trying to conceptualize it?
Yes. Okay. It's really hard.
Dubai, the Burj Khalifa is about 3,000 feet. I think it's a little less. So just say that a little bit taller than the Burj Khalifa.
90 Burj Khalifa? No, 912.
12.
English major.
English major. SEC.
Okay, look, I was in merchandising. I did a lot of retail math, but a little rusty. Okay, but did you ever see Finding Nemo?
No. Now you get to pretend I'm an idiot.
I never said you were an idiot. I don't think anybody that hasn't
Every time I say I haven't seen a movie, it's always like, oh my God.
Finding Nemo is just one of those movies that I feel like probably 75% of the human population has seen. Like not just Americans, but like all of the humans in the earth like have seen Finding Nemo. Anyway, there's this really scary fish at the bottom of the ocean. Never mind. I'll tell you about it.
And is he in the Mariana Trench?
I think that's kind of the idea,
really
but
deep.
I think, Nemo and Marlin and Dory are really in the like near Australia. So probably not that trench because geographically it's in the Atlantic.
Yeah.
But there's a big scary anglerfish with the light bulbs on their heads.
Because they have to have light because it's so deep.
Yes.
Yeah, there's the sun doesn't shine
the light
down
like lures little fishes.
Yeah.
And so the fishes come up to the light and then like the fish eats it.
Yeah, they get eaten.
Yeah.
That's
they get got.
So let's get on to another bad take. The other bad one came from, I think it was Colin Cowherd today. And he was saying, the 49ers have such an easy schedule that they better win 13 games because if Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen had this schedule, I think he might have even said Matthew Stafford had this schedule, that he would win 13 games. So Brock, like, what I hate about this is that it sets these ultra unfair expectations for a quarterback. Matthew Stafford
quarterback or a team
for a quarterback, because he's making it about Brock Purdy. He's saying, Brock Purdy's got an easy schedule. Okay. First off, it is a team sport. You're exactly right. Like it is a team sport.
The first
red flag of anybody talking football is when they start trying to make it about the quarterback against the other team, because it's about the whole team. But the second problem that I have with this whole discussion is that he brings up Matthew Stafford as if he's some kind of god. Guess who's never won 13 games before? Matthew Stafford.
But has he won a Super Bowl?
Yeah, of course he's won a Super Bowl. That was in 2021 with the Rams. But Matthew Stafford also had easy schedules because his Lions teams were bad throughout most of his tenure there. And the very next season with the last place easy schedule, they just got last place again. The point is that you need the team around you to play well, and no schedule in NFL is easy. It's easier and it's harder. Yeah. So for these talking heads that come out and act like 13 wins should be a given, it isn't a given for any quarterback.
No, every win is like hard fought.
So even Mahomes, even Allen have to work, and that's just the way it is. So Purdy is being held to this insanely high standard that's ridiculous since he was the last pick in the draft.
Well, the last pick in the draft, he went to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's easy to pick on.
But people were holding him to the standard before that, too.
I think in general, it's easy to pick on quarterbacks.
It is.
They touch the ball the most out of probably any other player on the team, right? You know, I mean, they're quite frequently the scapegoats for a lot of different reasons and things.
They are. And then within the quarterback ranks, you have certain quarterbacks treated differently than others.
I just get really lost when real live adults and people who are like serious about sports, you know, say, well, you know, I mean, it's like, let's just blow it all apart and put this quarterback on this team. And if this quarterback, you know, had this schedule, it's like, you don't know what would happen. I mean,
exactly.
That's not real intelligent thought.
Yeah. So you just judge the QB by the resume, what they've done in front of them. And Brock Purdy's resume is pretty damn impressive through his first 3 seasons. Mm-hmm. And all of this expectation setting and all this talk, it's also phony. So those are the terrible takes that I saw 2 of them today coming off of the schedule. And it's like, guys, just watch them play football, evaluate them by the nuts and bolts. Like, how are they performing? And there's so much obsession with Brock Purdy's status as the last pick, and draftism is what I call it. He can't possibly be this good, that people don't look at what he's actually done. And what he's actually done has been top tier stuff. Even last year for the 49ers, he was playing really, really good football. Not quite as good, but for obvious reasons, like that it's a team sport again. So I just wish that people would look at this objectively instead of trying to create narratives around everything. And I think that's the problem with some of these takes.
I mean, you can't this doesn't sound like a real phrase, but I mean, you can't make the draft completely scientific. I mean, a lot of it's a gamble.
It's all crapshoot. Yeah. And I would say you can't make it scientific at all.
Well, but I think my point is, I think that a lot of people try to make it really scientific.
It makes more sense in their heads if they could find patterns and stuff. Of course, like the level of science in the draft is that you're more likely to hit on an earlier pick than a later one. I get it. Mm-hmm. That's true. But no pick will ever be a guarantee. And that's what people don't understand. They think that there is some formula, some way of thinking, some level of pick where you know that player is going to be good, and they speak with certainty because people don't like uncertainty. This is not just football. People just don't like uncertainty in their life.
Right. Well, some players also don't fit in with the coaches, or, you know, it's not a good fit with the program, or
it's so complicated.
It's so complex.
Uncertainty abounds.
It's not Madden.
Yes. She watches the show. It's great.
I have boy cousins. Okay. Like 6 of them.
So you were ready for this, like far before we met, like football talk, like this show.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did not grow up in like an immediate sports obsessed household because I think my mom grew up in a really sports obsessed household. She had 4 older brothers and they all played. I mean, I think all 4 of them played baseball, basketball, football. So there was always some sport that one of her brothers was getting schlepped to one way or another. And so we just didn't watch a ton of sports in our immediate family, but every Thanksgiving or Christmas, there was football on, or like the cousins were playing Madden, or like, you know, beach trips with, you know, with extended family. It was like sports. So yes, I was ready for this.
Yes,
to a degree.
Just like
to
this.
a degree. Yeah. I didn't think I'd have a microphone in front of my face talking about it at one point, but here we are.
Apparently you know how to talk into the mic and I don't. This is it. I'm going to listen back to this later. I'm trying to figure out what this mic issue is, because I think we pushed the chairs a little closer since we had our guest on here earlier. We got another exclusive podcast guest. I'm not going to reveal who it was, but it was good. And that will be up in the next couple of weeks. But I listened back to the audio of that show and it was totally fine.
And you didn't hear. There was the same setup.
I didn't hear. I think the mics might be a little bit closer together now because we wanted it a little bit. We wanted to modify the camera frame a little bit. We're making tweaks in that regard, but
yeah,
who knows? Maybe the mics confuse each other where there a little bit closer.
If I move this mic, it will fall over.
Speaking of Mike is saying,
Mike in the mics.
Yeah. Is it a StreamYard issue? Well, StreamYard's what I'm using. I don't know. We're gonna get to the bottom of this at some point. And next time, we're probably not going to do a show in this studio, to be honest, until the season. We'll be in Europe. We'll do something cool in Europe.
We're doing all sorts of fun things. Yeah.
When we're doing stuff on the road, and when we have like a little glass of wine somewhere in Italy, we'll like clip our little DJI mics on.
He loves it when I have a little happy hour mic time.
Yeah.
This mic.
Well, Mike is probably just sitting back and laughing right now. Hopefully he's handling the chat well. Do you want to see some questions? Let's take some questions here.
I think you got a couple new members too.
Yeah, we got a couple new members.
Great. Thanks, guys.
I am going to just scoot up here and look down. Any good questions? Why don't you ask them? Oh, yeah. Have you announced the winner of the Internet GM of the Year competition? No. And I promise I'm getting to that. It got extremely busy with free agency. So we just hadn't gotten to it. And the fact, it got busy in a weird way. The 49ers didn't sign that many players because they're waiting for the draft. A lot. Yeah. So I wanted to wait for the draft to because that's how they're going to build a team, to evaluate people's rosters, because the rosters gave people a chance to draft people as well. So Internet GM of the Year, little delayed, but we're going to get to it very soon. Hi, Lombardi. Lean the mic towards you slightly because the two mics echo off of each other. Okay. Okay, is this better? Now this is a good point. This might be, it's now faced toward me. Mike, let me know. Mike, let me know if the mic is working better. Mike, the mic that you spell with a K works. Oh, no, you got mic stand fell. No, good. Mike has been.
That's why we can't have nice things.
Mike has been dominating with the thumbnails. He's been doing a really good job.
Oh, yeah. Mike's always doing a great job.
All right. We're ready for some questions. What do we think the 49ers record is going to be this year?
How many games are there in the season? I feel like it changes.
17.
17.
It changes because of the playoffs, and they're going to add an 18th at some point soon.
Why?
To spite you. They're trying to make this.
I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah. So 17. Golly. So they went 6-11 last year. They won 6 out of 17 games.
Okay, I think they're going to go 13-4.
So you think they're going to answer the bell that Colin Cowherd was saying? They need to win at least 13 games if Brock Purdy is worth anything.
I mean, looking at the opponents, I think that is, I don't want to say doable, because football is an extremely physical sport. Lots can happen. Injuries happen. Trades happen. There's a lot of unknown. But I do think that a 13-4 season, looking at the current opponents for 2025, makes sense.
Doable. Yeah.
Doable. Doable given how extremely challenging and physically rigorous this sport is.
They're going to be a lot fresher in 2025 than they were in 2024. They have a longer offseason. I think that's really significant.
Oh, because they didn't go to the playoffs this past year.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. So they have a longer offseason, and then they're not playing 4 teams coming off of their bye week.
This is the schedule.
Like last year.
By the way.
Last year was rough.
Here's the schedule. I put a big up on the screen.
Cool graphic.
So Mike made that as well. The bye week thing that you just brought up is really important, because they had a negative 22-day net rest differential last year, which is one of the worst we've ever seen. The NFL screwed them with last year's schedule.
Yeah, you've done all sorts of data
videos
analysis
and stuff like that, and
conversations.
So last season was going to be an uphill battle before it even began.
Mm-hmm.
And then it got worse and worse and worse with all the injuries. But that's part of the schedule, right? I mean, and they were tired because of the 3 years before. I mean, it was so strenuous. So now they've gotten extra rest. They didn't go to the playoffs. They do not face a single team. Not a single team on that schedule is coming off of its bye week when they play the 49ers. Now, you know who has to face the 49ers when the 49ers are coming off their bye week? The Titans. Poor Titans. But that's not until December 14th. The 49ers made a really cool schedule release video.
It was epic.
Oregon Trail. Mike hated it because he never played Oregon Trail, I guess.
I never played Oregon Trail,
but you liked it.
But you told me all about it, and I get it's pretty hilarious and creative.
My favorite part was Air What instead of Air One.
Yes.
I thought that was just great.
What did they launch the Texans into space with Katy Perry?
Yeah, with Katy Perry and people
just all the different options. I mean, that's what was really funny to me.
Do people know what Air One is in Beverly Hills in LA? You can buy a $28 smoothie. I'm not kidding.
If you don't know what to do with your money.
Or you could buy like an orange that's like $15, I think.
Strawberry.
Strawberry. A $15 strawberry.
I think it's very aesthetic strawberry.
It's a very aesthetic place. Let's put it that way. But they made fun of LA. They made fun of Texas, Houston. We have a problem. Katy Perry.
Oh, Atlanta was really funny. The Falcons.
Oh, the MARTA bus.
Yes. Sounds silly, but do West Coast people get that joke? I mean, was that so viral that everybody on the interwebs gets that joke?
The joke is...
So you have to explain the scene to them.
When was it the Georgia Dome or the old Turner Stadium?
It was the Georgia Dome.
Okay, so when
R.I.P.
the Atlanta now has Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
And it's...
awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, really nice. The Georgia Dome was before it, and then they were going to implode the Georgia Dome. So they set up cameras, or one camera.
I think it was a news station that had set up a camera to watch the live demolition.
Yeah, the implosion, and everybody's like, yeah, let's go. Georgia Dome blowing up.
Live stream and everything.
Yeah, fireworks. Let's go. MARTA is the bus and subway system of Atlanta. And all of a sudden, right before, as they're counting down to blow the Georgia Dome up, the former home of the Atlanta Falcons, this massive MARTA bus just pulls up in front of the camera.
Slowly, just creeps and blocks out the entire stadium. And you hear the dynamite
and I guess the bus driver wanted to watch too.
Smoke and clouds are just around the edge of the bus, and it's just full on blocking the view, and you can hear the stadium and the concrete crumbling to the ground, and then the MARTA bus pulls away
and the stadium's gone. It's like a magic trick. It's like the Georgia Dome was here and now it's not.
It's probably the funniest thing to ever.
I mean, it's too bad we don't have faster construction techniques now, because they could have had Georgia Dome, MARTA bus there for 20 seconds. MARTA bus pulls away. Oh, there's Mercedes-Benz Stadium. But it took 4 years to build probably after that. No, actually Mercedes-Benz was probably built because they had to open it right away, right? It was probably built in the parking lot of the Georgia Dome.
You're asking the wrong girl. I don't know.
People from Atlanta, you can answer my question. I love your stadium now.
But if you ever want a laugh, I mean, just go onto YouTube and search MARTA bus Georgia Dome, and it'll probably be the top.
Yeah,
it'll have millions.
So the
of
49ers
views
put it in their schedule release video
to announce the Falcons.
Yes.
And it was great because the little sourdough Sam and then Clementine the mule kind of digitally walk across the screen to the Falcons, and then the bus pulls up in front of them, and so you miss the exchange, and then the bus pulls away.
Well,
I'm sorry. I don't know why that gets me so riled up. It's just so funny.
We make fun of Atlanta, but this is
water. It's just
the
water.
Final game at Candlestick Park. Here, let me preface it with this. At least Atlanta blew up their stadium because that's fun. At least they didn't. There's no video to document it because the camera was blocked by the bus.
What happened at Candlestick?
Candlestick was boils my blood every single time I have to go through it. First off, I was in the last game at Candlestick. Who were they playing? The Falcons. And it finished with a pick at the stick.
How old were you?
Margot met Jim Harbaugh a couple months ago.
He's a riot. And Sarah Harbaugh, his wife, is so cool.
How old was I? This was in 2013, December 23rd, 2013. So
how old were you?
I don't know. You could do the math. I was born in 88.
24?
No, a little bit older than that, I would think. 88, 98, 2008. I would be 20 in 2008, 25.
25. Yeah,
25.
Okay. I was close.
Yeah, you're close. So That was the last game. Epic. Navarro Bowman. They called it the pick at the stick. It looked like they're about to lose, but then they had an interception.
And Harbaugh was the head coach.
Bowman ran 90 yards back the whole field, and Harbaugh was like chasing him as he's running in.
Yeah.
It was with like a minute left, and it closed the stadium. Nobody wanted to leave. People were like yanking seats out and trying to like take them with them.
As they do,
and getting arrested as they were trying to do it because they still belonged to the city. It was a city park, but
until it wasn't.
But anyway, they were going to implode it, which is the reasonable, fun thing to do. You could safely implode things. Somebody started protesting that it would be too much pollution to implode it. Listen to this. They started taking it apart piece by piece. And it was the most depressing thing ever. It took like 2 years. I had to drive by it every day. Every day, a little less of Candlestick is there. So they finally take it down. And it's totally gone. We have some of the rocks at Shaver Lake, not here. Some of the concrete, right? They do a study after. And it was determined that all of the demolition trucks and all the trucks having to carry the load
in more pollution
ended up polluting more than an implosion would have polluted. I mean, complete idiocy.
Doesn't all the pollution like float out of the Bay Area into another part of California?
Into the Central Valley.
Yeah.
Theoretically, yeah. But there's still stuff that people, I mean, there's still, even if it floats somewhere else, that's where I'm from.
It's still,
my parents have to breathe it. So
no, I know. I'm not saying like, it's their problem. Like, that's not what I'm saying.
The point is that the path they took was harder and it polluted more because they didn't think of the fact that moving trucks over 2 years, there's a lot of pollution that comes from them.
You feel very passionate about this.
Well, I was the one that was subject to seeing Candlestick Park die a slow death. It should have died a death of dignity. Kind of like Gladiator when he asks for the soldier's death instead of the beheading. So Candlestick should have been imploded. All these other stadiums get imploded. Candlestick should have been imploded. Should have been picked apart. I mean, that place has way too much history to die a slow death. It needed to die a cool death. Implosion.
Aren't like there's some establishments that have seats from it? Did I make that up?
There are. And that was another thing. The city didn't like they set the price too high for the seats, so not enough people bought them. They wanted like several $100s per seat, so then all these seats just went to the scrapyard, like thousands of seats, where they should have set the price, like it should have been dynamic pricing, because I think but establishments have Candlestick seats now, the ones that were willing to pay. So the whole thing was mishandled.
You could have literally gotten a bunch of Bay Area nonprofits involved and given them all, 1 or 2 seats and put them in their offices, or let them auction them off at for charity, things like that. There's a right way to do that.
It's sad. It really is, because it was an end of an era. I know a lot of 49ers fans watching. Frank Gore's got the jersey right above your head there. He played most of his 49ers career at Candlestick. I think his last year with the Niners was actually 2014, which is the first year of Levi's. So I mean, and it goes, this guy right here, he played his entire Niners career at Candlestick. And it was just, and not just the Niners, it's this era of sports has now moved to the fancy, shiny, corporate new stadium. And it's like the stadium, that era of stadiums was more about the game and the fans. And it wasn't as comfortable. Nobody's saying it is. It was a big pain in the ass to get in and get out. And, but
hopefully it had more than one elevator.
The one in Mexico City only had one elevator. You're right, but it happens. All right. You have anything else to say?
I don't know. Do you want to answer any more questions? I feel like we kind of said, let's take some questions.
Yeah. And then we didn't.
I just started laughing about the MARTA bus for what feels like 10 minutes.
That was hilarious.
But
I'm looking through some of them. People saying they miss Candlestick. In Pursuit of Happiness, Candlestick made a cameo, the movie with Will Smith.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I saw it a long time ago. What is my favorite stadium? Actually, Atlanta is. I think Mercedes-Benz.
Why?
Mercedes-Benz,
other than the fact that
has the wow factor of SoFi, right? SoFi is like a wow when you walk in. Mercedes-Benz gives you that wow.
Okay.
But it also has, and this doesn't matter as much to me because I'm in the press box, but I tour the stadiums and I look at food prices because I just want to see it through the eyes of the fans. Arthur Blank, the owner, made a deal with every concession vendor there, so like Chick-fil-A, and that they could not charge higher prices than they do at their outside stores. So every piece of food in the Atlanta stadium is the same price it is outside the stadium, which I think is so cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's what football should be about. Let me rephrase that. Football shouldn't be about reasonably priced food. That's what football stadiums should focus on. It's the fan experience.
Yeah. So,
because it's expensive to go to football games.
Yeah. Oh no. I mean, it's insanely expensive to go to a game. The average 49ers ticket went down a lot this year because of the schedule. They don't play as good of teams, yet it's still like $285.
Right.
So if you're
like,
taking a family
cheap.
of 4, that's over $1,000. Like if you're going at the average ticket price. So
wow.
See what Mike is saying here. We might. Oh yeah, Mike. He has Falcon Stadium prices. Hot dogs $2, sodas $2 with free refills, French fries $3, popcorn $3, domestic beer $5.
Wow.
Waffle fries $3, pizza $3, nachos $3, chicken tenders $6.
The only establishment I can think of that can compete with those prices is Costco.
Yeah, so you could just go to Mercedes-Benz Stadium and load up on food. Just see people hauling out hot dogs and stuff like that. Like, I'm at Costco today.
What was the answer to get around the Chicago Bears? It was like ketchup on a hot dog.
Oh yeah, because that's a Chicago style hot dog.
Ketchup on a hot dog is a Chicago thing. I thought that was just a hot dog thing.
No, that specifically is part of what they do. They'll put ketchup on hot dogs. Chicagoans can correct me if I'm wrong, but I do know that like New York has pizza and San Francisco.
Gray and
San Francisco has the burrito. Chicago is the hot dog. They've turned the hot dog into an art form there.
I thought they had deep dish pizza. They need the hot dog too.
The Chicago has 2 things. Like so Chicago has the deep dish pizza and they have the hot dog, the Chicago hot dog.
Okay.
And
I guess that, I guess I don't know. Maybe my brain has never affiliated hot dogs with Chicago, but that's been a long-standing thing.
Somebody says stay in Galveston for the Houston game.
Galveston's supposed to be cool.
Yeah. I appreciate the tip because the last time I stayed in Houston and I was not inspired. So
he's Mr. World Traveler over here is very high order for every city he visits.
All right.
I thought you were going to say you like Mercedes-Benz because it was indoor protecting you from the Georgia heat.
Well, I went in October, so it wasn't bad. And I actually didn't even stay in Atlanta. I flew there in the morning from Nashville and I flew back.
Yep.
You just waited for me.
Yep. You can do that.
Yeah. It was like, it's a joke. It's like a 22-minute flight.
It's nothing. They don't even serve drinks or anything. They don't have time.
The problem is that a lot of times, especially out of Atlanta, it's a big airport. You're a little delayed. I think I was on the way back. So it's like you're delayed for 4 times as long as the flight takes. And it's like, geez, kind of a buzzkill.
Hey, you got home on Christmas through Atlanta.
So this guy, John,
insane.
John said going to Levi's for the first time this year will cost me a couple $1,000 when the weekend is done. Case in point, right? Like, it's expensive to go to these games. So I think it's really cool what Atlanta is doing with the food really prices. Amazing.
Maybe we can talk to some people building the Titans stadium.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
Although Tennessee as a state, just says, oh, but the sales tax, put that back on all the tourists that come visit.
James says, tell Lombardi herself that my granddaughter loves her.
Oh, that's so sweet.
That's pretty cool.
Say hello to your granddaughter from me.
Is there any other good questions here? Do they still make hot dogs with cheese in the middle? That sounds disgusting. That sounds, I couldn't do it.
I mean, I cook a lot and I'm trying to figure out how you do that. I mean, there's chili cheese dogs. There's corn dogs, which corn dogs is just a hot dog wrapped in cornbread. Cornbread.
Yeah. Have you never been to like a Chicago style hot dog place that like you could load it up with an insane amount of stuff?
I don't mean to like be crass when I say this, but do I look like a hot dog girl? Like I'm much more like give me a big slice of pizza overflowing on a paper plate and a pitcher of beer.
You have the fastest metabolism that I have ever encountered, and that includes me.
You're welcome.
So
that was really annoying. I'm sorry.
So I don't know what type of food you eat and what you don't, because you don't look like you love Chick-fil-A, but you love Chick-fil-A.
I love Chick-fil-A, but we over the past few months, several months really, we've kind of gotten a lot more crunchy, and we're not really eating seed oils. We're not eating out, I used to eat Chick-fil-A probably 5 times a week. And I was just so much busier and running around. And so I just didn't have time to cook. And, since I have stopped eating a lot of fast food, like specifically Chick-fil-A, I don't crave it as much.
Yeah.
There's something in it.
They're addictive chemicals.
Chick-fil-A, honestly, I think is more of a lesser evil compared to some of the other fast food joints out there. But, I wish that In-N-Out would not do their fries in sunflower oil, because that's so bad.
That seemed to have ruined it for you. You could just go with
it. Just makes me sad. Just fry it in beef tallow.
Maybe you'll see that in the future.
Maybe. We'll see.
Maybe the movement for beef tallow will continue. All right.
Any other questions?
Steve likes the show. Gives us a couple thumbs
Steve.
up. The comments are coming in fast, but there's not that many questions.
How many members do we have sign up? I think we had 3 or 4.
We had at least 2 here. Let's see. Oh yeah, we have new members. Here we go.
Yeah, you should give them a shout out.
Kathy.
Woo.
Steve. And this is not a name, I think, but thank you. All 3 of these people became YouTube members. Awesome. So you can sign up now, and then you could get the Upton Stout. It's a 40-minute video. You can get
it's really cool. I really like those videos that you do like that. He I don't know. I want to talk about it, but I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah. Well, it's a good look at
multimedia.
I think this guy's the biggest personality the 49ers have ever drafted.
Okay, so when you say that,
bouncing off the walls.
When you say that, I just think I'm okay, so George Kittle has a lot of personality.
Yeah.
I mean,
but this guy talks 1,000,000 miles a minute, and he's of course, they're different personalities.
Does he just have is the hamster in his brain on Red Bull?
I think he's 5'8", 180, which is smaller than most NFL players. I think he's always been smaller.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's led to him having a chip on his shoulder. I think that he's out there, just plays with real passion. And George Kittle, massive personality. It took George a little bit, it took about a year for him to really blossom into the rock star personality.
Well, I think that's just growing up a little bit. I mean, a lot of these guys are right out of college, so you're still kind of figuring out who you are and what you're about.
And
what
I don't
your brand
know,
is.
I don't know what Upton Stout is going to become personality wise, but just the ebullience, that's a good word. The ebullience that I saw from him.
Okay. 10 out of 10 on vocabulary over here, Mr. Lombardi. Can you spell it?
Yes. EBULLIENCE.
You got the double L. Good job.
Yep. So there was real ebullience from him, and I hadn't seen that out of anybody yet. So that's what I mean by a really big personality. Big video on Upton Stout. I sat down with the head coach in person. It's up. Members can check it out. Be like Steve. Be like Kathy. Become a member.
I want to ask everyone who's on the live, what other rookies, should you kind of do a deeper dive on?
Which rookies do you want to see me do? Well, yeah, I'll travel to their campus if you want me to.
Which rookies, I guess, just excite, the fan base so much?
Let us know in the comment section.
Maybe if you go to I guess Georgia is not, UGA is Athens. It's not Atlanta.
Yeah, I could swing by the Falcon Stadium at some point.
Mm-hmm.
We can go. Ooh. You know what? The bye week is during the SEC championship game this year.
He's looking for an excuse to book flights right now.
No, we could drive to Atlanta. That's too close. But the bye week is the SEC championship game. If Auburn is good, which chances are probably they won't be, but
Just kick me while I'm down.
We can go to the SEC championship game this year, or we can go to Norway.
Why would I want to go to the SEC championship game if you're going to say we could go to Norway?
We could go see the Northern Lights in early December on the bye week. What should we do for the bye week? That'll be fun.
Yeah,
right, we got a new member, Mauricio.
Woo! Welcome. Yeah, what should we do for the bye week? Because the bye week.
Look, we got a request. Sorry, Jordan James, Oregon, Brentwood Academy. Jordan James, the new 49ers running back, went to Margot's high school.
Here in Nashville.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Okay. Sorry.
I will say one thing about Brentwood Academy. Great football program. Very unoriginal when picking colors and mascot.
Is it the Eagles and it's red, white, and blue?
Yes.
That is American.
They did not look hard for inspiration.
So what's his name? The Eagles player, Barnett, played there. So he was an Eagle in high school.
Barnett and Jalen Ramsey.
Ramsey has not been an Eagle in the pros, though. He's been a Seminole.
He was was he with the Miami Dolphins?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Still is. They're talking about trading him.
Wait, and Jacksonville too, right?
He was with Jacksonville too first, then the Rams, then the Dolphins.
Okay. See?
Ramsey.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes, he was my sister's year. Funny enough.
All right. What do you think?
I think we should ask people what are the rookies you should highlight and then what we should do for the bye week. Okay, when was the last time the Niners had a bye week in December?
They've never had a bye week.
I feel like that's really late.
It's the late. I think it's the latest they've ever had.
I mean, haven't they? Typically, the bye week has been in October most of the time.
Before I met you, they had a week 4, and that sucked. It's like I'm not even tired yet. I don't need a bye week.
Right?
It was kind of a waste of time. But they went to the Super Bowl that year.
Is there any not to we talked about people making the draft too scientific? This may be a silly question, but has anybody ever looked at all of the teams that have won Super Bowls and then that year figured out what week they had their bye week? Are there any patterns there?
I don't think there would be a pattern, just because there's so many other variables, and the effectiveness of a bye week is going to vary so much
on the schedule
and on a team's injury luck that year.
Yeah.
So there might be a year where you need the bye week to be week 10 because Christian McCaffrey got hurt week 8. And the only way that he'll be back. Yeah. And then for another team, their needs are going to be week 12 or week 7. So there's no rhyme or reason to connect it in any given year.
I thought you said we were going to look at a Christmas market for the bye week.
In Europe?
I didn't say it.
You're getting spoiled now.
You said it. You said it yesterday when the schedule came out.
So we wanted to go to Japan, but
you want to go to Japan. No, I want to go with you. I'm just kidding. He really wants to go to Japan. The exchange rate.
If we play a game, we're going to be covering a game in Cleveland right before the bye week. So that makes it a little harder to go to Japan. You'd rather be in San Francisco and just go to Japan instead of flying from Cleveland, time zones and everything. So twist my arm. Let's go to Europe. Let's go. We're closer to that side. Let's go that way.
Oh my gosh.
So Ella says Seoul is greater than Tokyo. That I love that comment. Just I don't know if I agree with it because I haven't been to either place. But when we go, we want to go to both.
Yes, we do. We've heard good things about Seoul.
Yeah.
And Joe went, right?
Mm-hmm. Joe went.
Hi, Joe.
Hi, Joe.
Well, not that Joe. Different Joe.
It's like, hi. I'm waving with both hands.
Konnichiwa.
Yeah.
That is Japan.
Yeah, that's Japan. I don't know how to say it in
South Korea.
Korean.
I don't know how you say it in Korean. But I do like Koreatown in LA. They have good food. The Korean barbecue. And we had Korean barbecue in New York City too when we went. That was last year. That was after the LA Rams game.
I have to take you to this place in San Francisco in Japantown. This barbecue place.
Tell me, what's it called? Paint a picture for me.
I told you about it after I went with Joe, Brendan, and Justin.
Oh, yes.
It changed the barbecue game. First off, they just, it was insane how much.
Did you guys do an all-you-can-eat kind of thing?
Yeah, it's an all-you-can-eat. You get 90 minutes, and it was insane.
Oh, they set a timer for you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But they did not like slow to the service down to like run out the clock or anything.
Okay.
We were full by the 60-minute mark. We were like, okay, yeah, we don't even need the last 30 minutes. It was so good.
I remember you telling me how many pounds of like meat you guys ate at this dinner, and it was just something absurd.
It was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
For a carnivore like you, really
And
good stuff.
T-Rex.
All right.
Okay.
We got to wrap this before. Well, it's exactly an hour now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's a good time to wrap.
Yeah. Any other cool questions?
Hey, we go on the show. Margot's like, let's keep this at 30 minutes. I'm tired. And now she's the one. If you're going to give this show a like, it needs to be because of Margot. She is the one that is insisting that we keep on going here. So
I don't know. We're just kind of in our groove here. I just want to make sure we're answering, good questions that people are putting out.
People are talking in the comment section.
Chit-chatting, yapping. No,
somebody says,
yapping.
what happens if the 49ers get only 6 wins? What do they need to do? Well, that would be a big problem.
I think if they only get 6 wins, then some people are getting fired.
Yeah, that's
like more people getting fired than people who got fired.
That's a bridge that like I don't understand why we need to try to cross these bridges before they're even remotely, possible.
A thought.
So yeah, let's cross that bridge once it actually happens.
1 week at a time. 1 week at a time. But yeah, everyone should go watch the 49ers schedule release video. It was hilarious.
Rookie has made the biggest impact so far. Well, nobody. They haven't even practiced as a team yet. Yeah, they had a rookie mini camp. So 49ers schedule release video was fire.
So
any other teams good? You watched other ones. I didn't watch other ones.
So the New York Giants did one, and it was all of the other teams were different contestants on a dating show introducing themselves. It was okay. I don't know. I really haven't watched a lot of the other ones. I know that the Tennessee Titans, I don't know what they did this year, but in the years past, they'll go onto Broadway and like show the logo of an NFL team to tourists and like quiz them to see like if they can name what the mascot is, and they'll be like, oh yeah, the San Francisco 76ers. Just really silly things.
You used a different number than the one that
No, that was the girl in Australia who was a news anchor. That was different. That was a whole different thing. We don't need to go down there. It's not really PG.
Yeah, we'll keep it.
Yeah.
You guys probably get the idea. If you're old enough, you know what we're gonna say without us having to say it.
But the 76ers were a team. Were they a basketball team?
They are still a team.
Oh, they're still a team.
Philadelphia.
Yeah, Philadelphia.
Yeah, 1776.
Philadelphia, home of cream cheese.
Yeah, Philadelphia cream cheese.
Right?
Cheesesteaks. Hey, Courtney Anderson says, Margot, In-N-Out just announced that they're getting rid of artificial ingredients. So maybe that does it for you.
Yes. No more seed oils. They're terrible for you.
Somebody's asking if this is a Rolex.
No.
It's nice.
It's nice. It's very nice.
You got it from me.
It's not a Rolex. I got it on our wedding day. It's like the best. I think it's the best gift I've ever given anybody.
Show Margot the Colts video. Oh my God. They had to delete the Colts video. I showed you part of it.
Oh,
the bachelorette party tweeting and then running over Will Levis.
Oh, and Will Levis had his mayonnaise. That was so sad.
I think teams just decided we're gonna make these offensive this year.
I think they wanted to go viral.
Yeah.
They saw that a lot of other teams, social media teams, came to play, and they said, "Hold my beer."
And the line was here, and they were here.
I think if I was in charge of an NFL organization, I would make it a competition. I would literally put people in teams of like 2s or 3s in the entire organization. Just say, okay, go put together what you think the schedule release videos should be. And then everybody gets to like watch them. And then there's like a final panel that votes on which one actually goes out to the public.
I would agree.
I think that'd be super
fun.
I
think it's become a tradition the last 3 years it's like an arms race. It's like whose schedule release video is going to be the best.
Gosh, there was one team last year and it was like this giant like crusher machine. And they put like,
it might've been Kansas City.
I think it was Kansas City that did that. Yeah. It was just Really
Margot will
ridiculous.
talk about her yoga routine next.
No. I hate working out. He gets on to me about it.
I'm looking for more. I'm ready to wrap it
We
up.
can wrap it up. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Thanks, guys. Good job. We'll see you guys later.
Bye.